So there are a few different ways how you can tell how you're about to be blessed by God and what He's about to do in your life for you. The first one being a lack of support. Sometimes it can feel as though people who always supported you just all of a sudden, poof, vanish. They stop supporting your videos, they stop supporting your content, they stop verbally giving you compliments. The reason for this being is because many people are watching you evolve. So sometimes the silence isn't because they don't support, but it's because they're in awe of how much transformation they're watching you overcome. The second sign is when things seem to hit a stalemate. All of a sudden, you were making so much momentum, so much progress. You gained a lot of following. You gained a lot of recognition. You could have been receiving job offers, opportunities, boom, 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 back to back. And then all of a sudden, silence, crickets, no more emails, no more collaborations. God is about to bless you. He wants to put all His faith into you. He wants to see that even when you don't hear from anyone or it doesn't seem like the path moving forward is about to bless you, that it is indeed going to bless you. And I'm talking tenfold. So that leads me to point number 3. Sometimes you can be struggling financially. That is a huge sign of a blessing, as long as you're putting the work in. Think about all the success stories. How many times do you hear someone say they had next to nothing in the bank? They didn't even know how they were going to pay their bills. They didn't even know how they were going to put food on their table. And God blessed them because they did not give up. And they made the right choices. They chose to believe, they chose to put the work in, and they chose to persevere even when it seemed next to impossible. And also making the right choices financially. When you have next to nothing, making sure you're spending your money on what you're meant to be spending it on. Your bills, your rent, your mortgage, your car payments, food on the table, your family, yourself, whatever you need, your essentials. Making sure that those priorities are all coming first before anything extra, like going out for dinner or spending night outs with friends or going to the movies or shopping. God wants to make sure that you know how to spend your money wisely, because there can always become points in our life where we can go through struggles. And that in itself teaches you how to really appreciate when you're not going through a struggle. Number 4. Number 4 is when you dedicate yourself to some type of spiritual fasting. Not always in our life are we called to fast, but sometimes you'll catch yourself in moments just knowing there's that inner voice connecting to divine that's reminding you now it would be a good time to fast. And I say this because have you ever fasted and realized just how much clairvoyance you receive? Just how many intuitive messages you can literally receive, whether you believe yourself to be intuitive or not. Think about how many answers to questions you have come to you when you are on an empty stomach. Think about how much more energy you have when you're on more of an empty stomach as well. It's like when you overeat or you indulge in a meal, then all of a sudden you feel sleepy and tired, right? And when you don't have that fuel yet, your brain is more focused. So if you aren't choosing to fast, just make sure you're making healthy decisions. That's a huge way to know as well that God's about to bless you. Number 5 would be that you have chosen to regain some type of confidence in yourself. So what? You're not where you want to be. You know, no one in life ever has it easy. No one in life is ever exactly where they want to be. But that is a part of the blessing. That is a part of the appreciation factor for when you get to where you want to be, just how far you made it along the way to get there. Just how many hurdles you had to overcome to get to where you want to be. That is a part of His glory. And the next one would definitely be when you all of a sudden feel a new shift in your perspective. When you all of a sudden feel like there's just something in you that tells you you gotta keep going, even if you don't know exactly what it is, that is Him letting you know that you are so close to receiving a blessing. And also too, another kind of thing will happen is your perspectives will change. What you want from life will change. Your goals will change. Your hopes will change. And more so than that, you'll find some type of independence within yourself. Certain things you didn't think you could achieve on your own, all of a sudden you're doing them. You thought you could never do something for yourself, all of a sudden you're doing it. Where there's a will, there's a way. And where there's a will, there's always God's way. And he is always trying to lift you up and show you that there's a better way. Another huge way you will know that you are very close to success in your life is you find yourself naturally being more calm. Letting go of situations where you know in the past would have made you feel some type of way. Would have made you feel as though you were reacting or wanted to react to how someone treated you, to how you were misjudged, to how you struggled, to how things didn't go your way. All of a sudden, those things start to not matter because you're starting to have bigger picture thinking. And God puts that into our perspective when he knows that the blessings we're about to receive are far beyond our comprehension. He needs you to think outside the box. He needs you to stop getting mad about the little woe is me things of life, because everyone goes through hiccups. Everyone goes through the struggles. No one's life is perfect. But when you can learn to let go, and this leads me to my next point, when you can learn to be incredibly grateful for every single thing you have in your life, that's when you know you're close to blessings. You got to be grateful to wake up every day. You got to be grateful to have running water. You got to be grateful to have food on your table. You got to be grateful to have your health, your vision, and everything in between, because there are many people that aren't so grateful. And most importantly, you got to be grateful for him and the people around you. Sometimes we get so caught up in our own world, we forget to give thanks and remind the people that love us and that we love just how incredibly grateful we are to have them in our lives. And this leads me to my next point, which is kind of tied in with this one, but it's when you all of a sudden start feeling in the mood just to forgive everyone. I know everyone's been there, okay? All of a sudden you're just having a good day and things may not have changed yet, but your perspective has. And that's a part of kind of coming to the calm in the realization of things as well. That the waves aren't so bad when you learn how to ride them. And some of you are going to start to experience a lot of forgiveness towards other people. People you would have thought years ago, months ago, days ago, you would have never forgiven. A rule to live by is if it doesn't matter in 5 minutes, don't get upset about it. Some of you are going to find yourselves forgiving people who could have even done you extremely wrong. But realizing that nobody is perfect. We're all human. We're all learning. And forgiveness is a huge part of God's wake-up call in your life to show you are close to blessings. He needs you to forgive because he's forgiven every single one of us. So what makes you any different? And that is a huge part of knowing that God will bless you when you can learn to forgive even the most difficult situations. Even someone you felt like did you extremely wrong. If you can just learn how to forgive them, you're on the right path. You're about to achieve major success in your life. And hear it from anyone who has achieved all that success in their life. They didn't spend it worried about what so-and-so did to them 5 years ago, or that breakup they went through, or that job loss they went through. People aren't worried about that. They're worried about where they're at now and where they're headed. And that links me to my final point. The biggest way you can tell you're about to be blessed is when you start looking forward, not backwards. Letting go of the past completely, realizing where you needed to grow and change and evolve, and becoming that version of yourself in the future. And working every day towards being the person you want to be. When you can put yourself so far future focused, the blessings are about to come in. But don't forget to also be able to live in the moment and to be incredibly grateful for everything you've gone through and your current day. Remember, all the small steps are big steps, a part of the journey. So start being more intentional with your days, with your time management. And also to never forget to tell people you care about just how much you love them.